Welcome to the Disney Wedding Podcast. This show is brought to you by Carrie Hayward's Fairy Tale Weddings Guide, the only guidebook and bridal organizer tailored exclusively to Disney's fairy tale weddings at Walt Disney World. I'm Carrie Hayward, and each week I feature Disney wedding updates, money-saving tips, and interviews with wedding vendors and real Disney couples. I also cover honeymoons, anniversaries, and engagements at the Disney parks and resorts. Join me now as the Disney Wedding Podcast celebrates romance at Disney destinations. Today on the Disney Wedding Podcast, I am speaking with Anna and Michael Dyrhaug about their ceremony at the Wedding Pavilion, with a cocktail hour at Sago Cay at the Grand Floridian and a reception at the Whitehall Room and Patio. I thought you guys would be interested to hear how they chose these locations and how they planned everything and how it all turned out. So welcome, Anna and Michael.
Hi, Carrie. Thank you so much for having us here today. We are so excited.
Hello. We are both very excited.
Thanks so much for being on the show today. I always like to start at the very beginning and find out how you guys decided you wanted to have your wedding at Disney.
Oh my gosh. Well, I think it's a bit cliche. Just since I was a little girl, I have always dreamed of wanting a Disney wedding. I mean, it's truly been a place filled with special memories for me. And after seeing Cinderella's carriage when I was little, I just knew I had to have that Disney wedding. But fast forward, when Mike fell in love with Disney, that was the perfect place. So essentially, he said yes to both me and Disney, which was great.
Now, how did your friends and family react when they found out where the wedding was going to be?
I think most of my friends and family were not shocked at all. I mean, prior to Mike, I was listening to these podcasts. I had purchased your book and I was already planning this Disney wedding. But we did have a few that were shocked. Michael and I got engaged at this magical place in Palmetto Bluff. And we had even toured the venues. We really fell in love with that place. But honestly, once you step inside that wedding pavilion, that's what sold me. So I don't think they were shocked.
So then how many guests did you invite and how many were able to make the trip?
So we invited 60 guests. We wanted to keep it intimate and a little bit smaller. And of those 60 that we invited, 50 came. The other few that weren't able to, mostly due to health constraints and not being cleared to fly.
I see. Okay. Did you set up a room block for your guests?
So we chose not to set up a room block. Disney just offers great deals without the room block. And if you look outside of Disney, there's other rental stores that you can go through. So we encouraged our guests to stay through either one of those two. We just really, truly didn't want the stress of the room block.
Got it. Okay. How did you choose the day of the week and time of day for your event?
Originally, we wanted a Friday and then extend it into the weekend. But then we remembered that it's actually Michael's parents' anniversary on that Friday 11th. So we kind of switched around a few things. So then our wedding day would be Thursday. So we could also have a celebration on Friday, which could be a mixed celebration for us and his parents. And then just allow us to extend it into the weekend with more celebrations.
I see. Okay. And how did you choose the time of day for your event?
For the time of day, we wanted a timeline that flowed better with the fireworks because that was really our main focus for all three events. Having a 5 p.m. ceremony made it flow better. And also for our out-of-town guests who aren't used to the Florida sunshine, I didn't want them melting in it.
So you mentioned that you knew you wanted the wedding pavilion as soon as you walked in. How did you choose the reception and dessert party venues?
The reception, we chose the Whitehall Patio for two reasons. Number one, a little bit of a more private area, so the reception could be a little more intimate. And then the second reason, we love the Whitehall because of the inside and outside with the patio, and which is the backdrop with the monorail and the castle in the background was kind of sold us on that too.
Yes. I mean, Mike's number one concern with doing a Disney wedding was the privacy and ensuring it kept our day special and intimate. So using the Wedding Pavilion and also doing Whitehall Patio and Sago Cay were all areas where they were close enough to guests, but you were also tucked away, and it kept that intimacy and privacy for us and our guests and for the celebration.
Did you guys use any outside vendors for the portions of your event that you were able to?
Yes. So for photography, we used Kais Photography. She was absolutely amazing. I cannot say enough wonderful things about her. I mean, her photography skills are just so incredible. And for her style and personality, she just fit us so well. For videography, we use the amazing duo, Nick and Prince from Merrily Married. I mean, these guys are just so sweet. They work so well together with Allison. I mean, it's so important that you have a team that can work really well together because it is your special day. And it's also just important that you find these people that just vibe well with you and vibe well with each other. And I'm telling you, this trio was just amazing. I really, really cannot say enough wonderful things about the photography and videography vendors we had. For hair and makeup, I used Haley Finnegan, and she was just absolutely the sweetest. She knew how to do makeup on all walks of life. Unfortunately, before the wedding, I had an issue with some Bell's palsy, and I was really discouraged about some slightly drooping on some side of my face. And Haley got in there and worked her magic and made me feel like such a beautiful princess. So I cannot thank Haley and her team enough. And she's just an amazing vendor.
That's fantastic. How did you guys choose your officiant?
My officiant was actually my aunt. So she is a local judge in Tampa. So it really meant a lot to me that she be a part of our special day. And she has been someone who's loved and supported us. And plus, it made things a lot easier when it came to the legality of it. She knew exactly what we needed, when we needed it. She sent in our marriage license. So it was really easy, and it was just nice having her be a part of our wedding.
That's great. Did you add any kind of entertainment to the ceremony or the reception?
Yes. So we had DJ Steve Dunlap, and he was absolutely amazing. I mean, he was the perfect balance between energetic and let us doing our own things. I truly did love him a lot. Highly recommend. And then, of course, that iconic carriage. I mean, I had to have that carriage for entertainment. It was the best thing ever. I truly felt like a princess with it.
It's wonderful. Do you guys have any menu items or cake flavors that you would recommend?
We definitely recommend the beef short rib. That was amazing at the wedding.
That was so good. So we had a filet of beef at our welcome dinner, and that was amazing. That was with mashed potatoes. Also, pizza at California Girl was amazing. I'm not sure if most people know this, but your menu is completely customizable. And I really do think that the chefs enjoy customizing our menu. So half of our dinner menu, which was spaghetti and meatballs, chicken piccata, that all came from my grandma's recipe, and they executed it perfectly. It was amazing. If anybody wants it, I will send it to you. Highly recommend. They knocked it out of the park with the replication.
I'm so glad you mentioned this because, I'm always talking about how you can customize the menus. You don't have to stick with what Disney sends you. And I'm also always suggesting that people use family recipes, but so rarely do I hear of people doing that. So it's great to know that they did a good job with your family recipes.
Oh my gosh. I mean, it felt like I was in her house on a Sunday cooking the gravy. It was chef's kiss. It was perfect. They did so amazing. And I think they have fun doing something different too. So
definitely. Do you have any cake flavors you would recommend?
yes. So we did lavender with an amaretto mousse for one of our first layers. That was delicious. I know it kind of sounds but it was very good. And then for our other two tiers, we did an espresso cake with Nutella hazelnut crunch. It was to die for. It was so good.
That's great. Can you tell my listeners a bit about your dessert party, like how you chose the location and whether you did a ride mix-in?
Yes. So we originally chose Italy. And when our wedding consultant got back to us, he said, "Hey, I'm so sorry, but there's another party that fits the numbers for Italy. So unfortunately, we were moved over to Terrace de Flor, but that worked out so well in our favor. We got upper and lower. And also, it was during Flower and Garden Festival. So we really needed no floral or decor. And then for the ride mix in, since we're already in France, why not do Remy? He is just the most adorable little Disney rodent. And that is one of the best rides that Epcot has. Also, if you ride Remy, I cannot say enough amazing things about that staff. When we were in there, they were on the intercom and they were screaming, congratulations. They stopped the ride. They allowed us to physically be in that ride alone for several minutes. And they just were talking to us, cheering us on. I mean, I highly recommend doing Remy if you're thinking for a ride mix-in, because solely the cast members made it so special.
That's so great to hear. Can you tell my listeners about your welcome party at California Grill's Napa and Sonoma rooms?
The welcome dinner at the Contemporary Resort up in the Napa room and Sonoma room was absolutely beautiful. We were able to do kind of two rooms. For the first hour was a cocktail hour with some of the pizza that we love at the California Grill. And then we were able to move into the Napa room where we did a sit-down dinner for there. It was just a beautiful setting with the fireworks going off there as well.
Oh my gosh, I loved it.
Oh, that's great. Did you get to go out and take photos with the fireworks?
Yes. And we did have our own private balcony, which was extra nice, given it was such a beautiful day and there were a lot of people. It was just nice to have our guests not worry about where they were going to stand for the fireworks. It was just beautiful.
Oh, that's cool. Did they take you down to the one that's a few floors below, or where did they put your party?
They did. They took just Anna and I went down below for some photography and videography. Our guests got to be right up above on the other
platform. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. So can you give my listeners a timeline of how your wedding day all fit together?
Yes. So around 6 o'clock, I woke up because I just needed to go for a run and allow myself to get those pre-wedding jitters out. Hair and makeup was supposed to start at 9:45. Unfortunately, I was a little late to my room because of a small incident that occurred at the Grand Floridian that morning. But thankfully, Haley was so sweet and so kind. She literally worked her magic with all my bridesmaids, and we ended up being ahead of schedule. So around noon, my hair and makeup actually started, and around 2, it was done. So 2 o'clock is when my media team came. They came to take pictures, get everything aligned for me to help. They actually helped me get dressed. They were amazing. Around 3 o'clock, they were rushing me out the door to get to the Grand Floridian to do a first look with Mike, which I truly highly recommend a first look. It helps get all the butterflies that are out, and it just resonates some peace between you and your partner before all the craziness starts. Around 4:45, would you say the carriage took me away?
The carriage came and picked you up and your dad up and took you to the ceremony at the Wedding Pavilion. Right at 5 is when we had the ceremony.
Yes, so right at 5 o'clock is when the ceremony started. 5:30, they took us out to Picture Point, and that's when we did a stage exit. And then cocktail hour was from 6 until 7. And then from 7 until 10, we were outside with the Whitehall Patio. And then from 10 till 11, we moved inside due to the noise ordinance rule that they have. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Got it. So for each of you, what was your favorite memory of your wedding day?
My favorite memory, obviously, other than marrying the love of my life, was the dessert party. We were escorted in from the main gate, and the walk from the main gate to the France area where we did the dessert party. It was pretty cool seeing all the resort guests cheering us on and celebrating us. So that was definitely one memory that we'll never forget. Also, the reception outside dancing with this DJ Dunlap was incredible.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I have so many. But seeing Mike for the first time was one of my favorite memories underneath the awning of the Grand Floridian, and just riding in that carriage with him was just such a special moment. I mean, everybody is cheering you on from all walks of life at the resort. I mean, from the cast members to the people on vacation. I mean, that's just such an iconic moment that I will never forget. And also Epcot, I'll never forget that. I mean, crowds were howling. They were awesome.
That's wonderful. So when you guys were planning, what were some of the most important aspects of the event where you focused your attention or your budget?
A few of the most important areas that we focused on were the food and drinks. Obviously, being Disney annual pass holders, we made many trips to Disney, and we always knew their food and beverage was always good. So that's one area we focused on. Another area we focused on were the venues.
Yes. And we wanted to tie in fireworks at all three events. So it was important that we had fireworks at all three events.
And then were there any aspects that were less important where you saved your money or just your effort?
Little bit we saved on was floral and decor. Because of the venues that we chose were inside and outside, they were naturally beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely saved a little bit more on floral and decor. Another area we saved on was some stationery. We did a lot of it locally.
Yes.
Which was great to kind of mitigate some of the extra costs with that.
Yes. And hopefully I don't have a crowd coming for me when I say this, but cutting Mickey and Minnie, as much as I love them, I really wanted my carriage.
No, that's a really valid point that you made the trade-off.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we would have loved to have all three, but I mean, if you had to choose, I can see Mickey and Minnie any day. I mean, you really can't ride Cinderella's carriage every day. So that was my proposal that I brought to Mike when I was doing a pre-wedding PowerPoint.
And Mike, what did you think of the pre-wedding PowerPoint?
I had to agree with it. I didn't have too much of a choice, but I agreed that Mickey and Minnie, you could see me go enough. We see them all the time. So our family, and the carriage is kind of a once in a lifetime.
Totally.
Yes.
That's great. Now, did anything go wrong or just not turn out like you expected?
Oh, I'll let Mike elaborate on this one.
Nothing really went wrong. Everything went very smooth. The only thing we had a little bit of an issue with was a little bit of a miscommunication on some of the outside floral at the reception area. Disney was able to change everything around that we needed to prior to the big day. And then during those 3 days of events, everything went, I mean, from all our guests, it went smooth as can be. There were no hiccups at all.
None. I mean, Disney did a phenomenal job with making sure all three of our events went without any sort of mistake or miscalibration. I mean, Disney knocked it out of the park. Like, they just made sure everything was so beautiful and so special for us. And honestly, I cannot thank those team members enough for making our day so special.
That's great. What needed to be changed about the floral?
So originally when we got our floral quote back, it kind of set us back because I think it was something around like $17,000. And I have a very financial mind. So when I was looking at what I had given them and the sites that they were looking at, it was significantly upcharged. So I thought if I just went through the direct source that I could get that discount. But unfortunately, I mean, they have it in the contract. It was just me not mentally comprehending that we could not have things outside. We could have things inside the ballroom, but they couldn't be outside. And so for me, I thought Whitehall Room and Patio was like one entity. So I didn't think that it mattered whether or not it was inside or outside because I thought it was just one whole package. But it definitely matters. Disney is definitely very strict about what they have outside. So in the end, I was able to use everything that we had purchased. It was just had to be inside the ballroom. Anything else that we went through Disney was outside.
I see. Okay, great. Now, was there anything that seemed like a big deal beforehand or you were worried about, and then it turned out not to be a big deal?
Honestly, I think the floral and decor situation seemed a little bit like a big deal, but honestly, at the end of the day, it really worked out for the better. because it did start to get humid around our dinner time. And we were outside 95% of the time. The only time that we were inside the ballroom was when we went to sit down and eat. And my mother was so sweet. She actually reached out to the floral team to have additional floral set outside, and they did such a phenomenal job with adding that floral touch outside. I mean, they knock it out of the park with everything. So in the end, I thought that was just kind of going to be like that's the nail in the coffin. But honestly, it worked out so perfectly. So if there's any brides that are discouraged that they have to maybe move inside for a little bit, do not be discouraged. Your wedding day will be completely fine.
Got it. Okay. Is there anything you guys would have done differently knowing what you know now?
100%. Just go through Disney for everything, for floral and decor. I know the price stamp may seem crazy, but honestly, I would go through them. I had my floral from Disney. Our floral lasted us 3 weeks after our wedding, like in pristine condition. I don't know what they do to their flowers, if it's just the extra pixie dust, but just the way they arranged their floral arrangements was just so beautiful. And how they really put attention to detail on everything is just, it's phenomenal. And I know it may seem crazy that I'm offering this, but just 100% go through Disney. I mean, you cannot go wrong.
Do you have any other tips or advice for future Disney couples?
Number one, don't lose sight of what's really important. It's a union between you and your partner, and no matter what, that day is going to be so special. So never lose sight in that. Always, always, always be kind to your planners. They are most likely trying to get and fight the same battles that you're fighting for. Unfortunately, with Disney, sometimes there is red tape. So just really be kind. If you get a no, or if you get a maybe and then it's a no, just be kind. That's my advice. But for my tips for stationery, I was originally quoted $8,000 for these very popular invites, and no way was I paying that. So I reached out to a company called Fiverr, and it's essentially professional freelancers that you can research what you're looking for. So I researched for a professional watercolor artist. I showed them what exactly I wanted to be painted, made sure they had it in the perfect resolution, sent it off to a printing company. Go to your local printing company because you're going to get a better deal with the local printing companies. All in all, with my invites and the other stationaries that I had, I spent $300, and it was for pretty much the exact same invite that I was quoted $8,000 for.
Wow.
Yeah. For do-it-yourself projects, just make sure you give yourself enough time to. I mean, I did my place cart and seating chart, and although it was super fun and we had a really fun time doing it, after a glass of wine or two, then you start to get stressed out of, okay, is this butterfly correctly placed where I actually did it? And when we wrapped it up and traveling from Jacksonville to Orlando, we were definitely a little bit, concerned about if something were to break, but just bring extra glue guns or whatever you may need and prepare yourself in case, you need any touch-ups for those projects.
That's great advice.
As far as some advice, doing a lot of your own DIY projects is fun, but it's also can, bring some problems with traveling with it too, as Anna said. But my main advice is if you're going to do a Disney wedding, we spent a lot of time and research making sure it was something we wanted to do, and we definitely did. But just make sure you stick to your budget. Finances is a big thing with weddings, especially when you're trying to save for everything else as well. But Disney did a fantastic job when you told them what your budget was and gave you different options. So just ask. Disney will be able to work with you on almost everything to make it possible.
Oh my gosh. And purchasing your books and listening to a podcast is a must. I swear this was my Bible for the last 4 years. I listened every Wednesday. I read the chapters over and over again. This book and podcast have been so helpful for me. The Diz Brides group, it's amazing. I mean, you have a wonderful support network. So reach out to any of those people that you want to reach out to. Everyone is so welcoming. We cannot thank you enough for that book.
Oh, I'm so glad you found it helpful. That's our show for today. I'm your host, Carrie Hayward, inviting you to join me again next week for another episode of the Disney Wedding Podcast. Past shows and tons of photos for each episode are available on my website, DisneyWeddingPodcast.com, or listen in your favorite podcast app. And for instant answers to all your Walt Disney World wedding questions, check out Carrie Hayward's Fairy Tale Weddings Guide, available as an interactive ebook with continual free updates at fairytaleweddingsguide.com.